This story narrates the horrifying incident that Emily experienced. When you hear my name and what I went through, perhaps you might understand me. After all, everyone has a turning point in their lives, and mine began on a dark night. On that evening, as I was walking home after work, the streets were calm and deserted. However, thinking there was no reason to fear the unknown, I quickened my pace. Upon entering my home, I locked the door and drew the curtains tightly. Everything seemed normal, yet there was a lingering sense of unease within me. After a while, I began to feel as if I were being followed. A shadow seemed to be tracking every step and every breath I took. I spiraled into paranoia, sensing danger at every street corner. I felt like I was going insane, but the fear I felt was undeniably real. One morning, as I left my home to go to work, a hand reached out from behind and covered my mouth. My heart started pounding rapidly and my breath caught. A voice said, "Stay calm. I don't want to harm you." My eyes were blindfolded, and I had no idea who it was. Then I was pushed into a vehicle. We moved for an uncertain duration, and when my eyes opened upon stopping, I found myself in a dark warehouse. Days filled with mistreatment, threats, and uncertainty shattered me. In a place where my name wasn't even known, I felt like a kidnapped toy. Throughout this dark ordeal, while my family and the police were tirelessly working to find me, the fear inside me grew. Each day, I felt like I was lost in the darkness. As the hope of escape diminished with each passing day, I knew I had no chance of controlling my own story. In the place where I was abducted, an uncertain future awaited me. Perhaps one day, I would regain my freedom, or maybe I would be lost forever in this dark shadow. This dark journey wasn't confined to fear-filled days alone. In the kidnapped warehouse, days turned into weeks. With each passing day, I felt myself getting lost in fear a bit more. As time escaped, my hopes dwindled. Blindfolded, I was completely disconnected from the outside world. Only the cold walls of my dark room and the merciless passing of time accompanied me. One day, I sensed footsteps approaching faster. The door opened and someone walked in. Since my eyes were covered, I couldn't see who it was, but the voice sounded familiar. "We didn't have to do this, Emily," he said. The voice was enough to reveal who had kidnapped me. It was someone from my ordinary life, a regular colleague, driven to this dark path by internal conflicts. I was left in shock. On one hand, there was resentment. On the other, sheer disbelief. When my eyes finally opened, I saw the face of the person who had abducted me. I was in disbelief. This person, a co-worker from my mundane life, had led me down this dark path. I was left in a state of internal conflict, torn between hatred and bewilderment. According to his explanation, he wanted me to understand the reason behind what he had done. He was harboring a secret about me and he wanted to prevent that secret from coming to light. Yet, I still couldn't comprehend why he had resorted to such radical measures. In this process, I learned how dark the secrets hidden behind the facade of normalcy could be. However, things didn't go as expected. The police, after a thorough investigation, found the person who had kidnapped me. With the dispensation of justice, the veil of secrets was lifted and this dark chapter of my life came to an end. Yet the impact of what I had gone through lingered within me. In the aftermath, I tried to return to my normal life. However, due to the loss of trust and the trauma, I decided to move away from the city. Hoping for a fresh start, I integrated into the routine of an ordinary life. However, the kidnapping experience had forever altered me. After a while, I made the decision to share my own story. Perhaps I could help others struggling with a similar darkness. What I narrated wasn't just the terrifying tale of a young girl, it was also a step towards understanding and healing from the trauma I had endured. Eventually, I stood up resiliently. The pain I had experienced had strengthened me, and with each passing day, I felt the dark shadow dissipating a bit more. Sharing my story became a form of therapy for me, and perhaps it was a step towards the light after the dark days I had lived through. Subscribe to my channel and don't forget to turn on notifications to see you in the next story.